Hey folks, my name is Steve Cornwell. You're watching the Dialog, where you'll find all of your George Brown College campus and community news. Today we're talking elections. We have some candidates here with us today, and they're candidates for the ongoing SA student election. Why don't we just do a round of introductions? Can you tell us who you are, what you're running for, and a little something about yourself?
Sure. My name is Asif Farab. I'm running for St. James Campus Director, and I used to be a student at Ryerson. I was studying engineering. And then after 3 years, I decided it wasn't something for me, so I dropped out and I came to George Brown.
Nice.
Hi, my name is Calvin Bartholomew-Soto. I'm running for the St. James Campus Director position. And something about myself would be, I'd like to say my hair reflects my personality because it's crazy and it's like lots of curls. It's never ending, so I kind of feel it's a reflection of my personality.
Hi, my name is Shelly Garcia. I'm running for St. James Campus Director. Something about me, I go George Brown. I'm in my second year and I'm taking project management.
St. James is like, some would argue the main campus of George Brown. It's the most populous, right in the center of the city. What would you say are some of the things that make it a great place to be, and what would you improve on if you were the St. James Campus Director?
So one of the things that make it a great place is it being right in the middle of downtown. I really like that. It's busy, something's always going on event-wise, and something that I would make it a better place, I would say get students more involved, letting them know about workshops, events, as well as little organizations that we have within the school. I feel as those students don't really utilize it as much, so probably get them more involved in that.
Cool. And then, Kevin, same question to you, is St. James as good as people say it is? And if so, why? And then what would you change about it?
I think St. James is a great campus. I mean, I am biased because I've been a student for 3 years now. But St. James is in the center. It's Casa Loma's further up north, Waterfront's more south, and St. James kind of gets the biggest piece of the cake, right? They get the majority of the events. The majority of the events are at St. James. You come to the campus and you can feel the atmosphere. It's very different compared to the other two campuses, and I think that's what makes St. James so special. Each campus on their own so special. Each campus has their own personality, and you can find different things. And I think that at St. James, students just need to be more aware of what's going around in the surroundings, and that's just with anything. And events is just the short end of the stick.
Jason?
I personally think St. James is a perfect place because it's a downtown, and all the food courts, starting from food court and everything is nearby. So because of the location, it's perfect to study, to go around for shopping. The one thing that I've noticed as my first year accounting is that I don't see many people getting involved. What I see is that people are too busy interacting with themselves, like people from their own group. So what I want to do is just get people more involved, as Sally says, that create more events so then people can get to know each other and make connection. Because I believe George Brown can offer us more than education. We can build us make more connection for our future.
And Kevin, we talked about the engagement angle. I think all three of you have brought up student engagement. But how do we I was commenting earlier that this is the one three-person race in the whole sea of elections races. Do you think that engagement, not just at St. James but across George Brown, is a problem at this point?
Yeah, of course. It's a huge problem. I feel my position as the St. James Campus Director right now, I really get to see know what's really going on. But beforehand, I worked for Peer Connect, and I was constantly at Waterfront, and I would see the Student Association event squad show up maybe once a week, and I'll see the posters there, but there wasn't much awareness at the Waterfront campus. They have a beautiful view. They're by the lake, but they don't know what's really going on, and given the programs that they're in, it's very intensive. So even if they are aware, they don't even have the time. So I feel as though we have to kind of tailor it to the students and the campus, that we kind of spread this information or spread that awareness.
Shelly, what are your ideas in terms of actually getting folks involved in?
I would say a
campus?
lot of word of mouth, because I feel although we have like student staffs and whatnot and posters, a lot of students pass those posters straight. They don't really pay attention to it because there's so much going on. So I feel as though like if you yourself probably go out and tell other people, it would probably be more beneficial as well. Or like even like telling a friend of a friend and then this friend telling that friend. I feel like a lot of stuff could get done like that.
And Asif, are you
Yes,
interested in engagement? What do you think?
I actually had an idea when I was coming here, is that we can actually hire a bunch of people. Like for example, we can create a group, we can give them volunteer hours, we can train them, and beginning of the semester, first lecture, they can actually go around in the morning, beginning of the lecture, and talk to, go to the lecture, in front of the lecture, and tell people about all the tutoring and all those other events that are going on. So then people can get informed. Because for me, when I came here, like I didn't know anything, so I had to ask my friend, go around to find out about it.
So this is like a step beyond like the event squad.
Yes.
It's like a
So we can even,
awareness
yeah,
squad or something like
yeah.
that. Cool. And it's like a new entity that you're
Yes, and then we can also give them like maybe a certificate for going out there and volunteering, and it's going to be a good experience for them as well.
Right. Well, we're talking about big ideas
Yeah.
already. What Asif, if you were elected as the St. James campus director, like what would be your platform? Like what would be the primary things you'd be focusing on?
One of the main things that I'll be focused on is the resume session and connection. I want to bring, for example, maybe HR or like someone from a different office to come here and talk to students how they are, like what it means to work at office, so then they can get some kind of ideas how it feels like to work at an office. Because when I did my co-op when I was in grade 11, and it was completely different environment compared to my high school and then working at office. So it would be better if I bring someone from who's actually working there and share their experience with us.
So Shelly, what if you are elected as the St. James campus director? Like what's the big idea? Like what's the main thing you'd implement in that role?
Me personally, I want to get students involved as well as doing more charity. I feel as though like we don't do charity events, so students could come out and party for a cause, basically, instead of just partying for partying, you know?
Any causes specifically you have in mind?
Not particular right now, but I just feel like I want to lean towards more of that, as if you're helping other people within the community.
Generally, if you are put in this position, what's the primary goal for the term?
Primary goal for me is it's always been the same and it will remain the same so long, you know, as I go on. It's awareness. It's all about awareness and making sure the students are aware about the services that are provided to them, not just in SA, but just in the college itself. I feel like it's very important, and without this awareness, then they may not be able to receive the college experience that they're looking for, or they won't even be able to enhance their college experience because of this lack of awareness, right? I know as a student personally myself, when I first began, I went to the orientation, but I can only imagine, you know, how much my college experience would have changed had I not gone to the orientation and met different people, and it kind of like drifted me towards like networking and socializing. If I didn't do that, if I was more or less more introverted, I may not have been as involved. So I feel awareness is 100%, right?
But I mean, the awareness like could be the issue, but I mean, if you flip the question on its head, like what if it's the services themselves? Like, is that a consideration that the SA should be providing different services or partnering with the college to provide different services? I
think SA is doing a decent job, but if with anything, there's always room for improvement, right? With any position, that is, right? Like it's 2018, technology is becoming more innovative and people's needs are constantly shifting and changing. So you can't expect one thing to work for 10 years straight, right? So it's gonna change on a consistent basis, and it's up to us as a board of directors to figure out what are the needs of the students, what are the needs of the staff and everyone else that are involved, right?
Mm-hmm. In terms of like the SA's performance, in the last little while, like we've talked about some of the good stuff about the St. James campus, but what are some of the things that you would like improve right away, so if you're given the opportunity on the board?
Sure, I think one of the best things to improve is that we can create a page, like a page for like all the students that already graduated or maybe they're currently studying, So then they can also, if they have any question, they can ask the people who already graduated or they're higher than them, and the CRO can be the admin. So then he can take care of all the posts or all the questions that has been there, so they can approve it. So it's more easy to get to know each other.
Shelly?
So, for me, I would say also awareness of the students. I feel a lot of students don't know what's going on within our school. SA does a great job, but a lot of students don't know like what goes on except for the insurance. I know I have to go pick up my insurance card at SA. I feel as though SA has a lot of job postings students aren't unaware of. A lot of volunteering work students aren't unaware of. So just getting that out there to them would be a great factor of improving the SA. Yeah.
And what are your thoughts, Calvin, specifically, if there's something you want to, if you could change magic wand, and something that's practical to change too?
I feel SA could just, there's quite a few things they can do. Event squad is a great idea, but like the position in itself says event squad, so it's just the awareness. You think, oh, they're just gonna talk to me about events, but I feel as though it should be, the name should change, and the priorities should, more priorities should be added as to like spreading awareness of the college and the services that SA provides itself, going around and say, hey, you know what, this is how much you're paying towards SA for your student tuition. Are you making your money's worth out of it? Right? I feel something as simple as that can make a huge difference. As soon as people know that they're paying for a service and they're not getting anything back from it, that'll snap something in their brain. They'll think, you know what, I should take advantage of these services. I should go to these events. I should grab these free lunch like bags, right? And so I think it starts there. And once we begin there, we're headed off to the right direction, and we can make the necessary changes.
This is the time, maybe because we're in this kind of it's not a debate. It doesn't feel like a debate. Like no one's super angry at each other yet, but and hopefully it doesn't get like that. But my question is here, like it's a time to kind of go a little bit. Like what specifically, Asif, would you say differentiates you from the folks that are applying for the same position? Like why should students at George Brown vote for you as opposed to Calvin or Shelly?
I personally think if all both of them has their really good ideas, and then I really respect their ideas. What makes me different is that my ideas is mainly for academic and for their future once they graduate, whereas I personally think what they're trying to do is that they are going to make it more fun place but not more academic. But we have to think about why you here. After graduation we have to get a job, so we also have to think about building connection, building more resumes, so then we can prepare ourselves for after graduation.
Calvin, what do you think? Why should people choose you over your running mates here?
I feel as though if the other two people who are running for the same position have the students in mind, I think that's all that matters. But I think the students should choose me over the other for the very reason that I'd like to make these small changes, and I strongly believe in pushing these changes because college is great. Sometimes some people go to college to get an education, and some people go for the experience, right? Why can't you tie both of them together, right? You can go to college and get your learning, but you can also enhance that experience by expanding your network, meeting new people, finding business opportunities, finding volunteer opportunities, getting involved with the college, and just expanding your horizons, right? Because college is so much more than just the learning that you do in class. It's about the learning that you do from other people and your faculty, your alumni, and everyone else.
Shelly, why you over these gentlemen here?
I feel as though I'd be a perfect candidate because I'm just different. The vibe is different, the uniqueness is different. And I want to get students more involved in general. I know they're talking about academics and fun and whatnot. However, I feel as though it would be fun to tie it all together, as well as making students more aware of different things that they're unaware of. Would be good. So it would just be a fun race. Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
You're basically competing with each other for this position, but maybe we could end off on a point where you compliment your fellow competitor. What is nice about Calvin, and what's nice about Asif?
I like Calvin because his hair is very nice. I won't lie, his hair is extremely nice. And he seems like he knows what he's doing, but I feel like there's room for improvement from last year, so it'd be good. And my other candidate over here, he's very serious. I like that about him. He's very stern, seems like he's gonna get things done, so that's really good. So even though if we don't end up winning, if I don't end up winning, I know that the school would be in good faith with them. It would be good.
Great. Asif, what do you think?
What I like about both of them is that they're very friendly, I can tell, and that they're motivated. Even if I end up losing, what is that at the end of the day, what matters is that we are working for the student. We're not just here to run for election, have fun. We're working for them. Even if we lose, I think it doesn't matter whoever wins, we all gonna have to work together and make the GBC better place.
Calvin, what are the two nice things you can say about your opponents here?
I can say Shelly's a very sweet girl. She's had experience on event squad, so she's definitely a great candidate. You know, there's always a smile on her face every time you see her, and from the times I've seen her, you know. So that's always wonderful. It's very refreshing. Asif, he seems to be very goal-oriented, and I like that about him. I very much like that vibe about him. So I feel that no matter what happens after this campaign, that the school will be in good hands. And so long as that we push with our passion and we drive for the better of the students, then we're more than good for this year and the year to come.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for coming in. Good to meet you and good to see some of you again. And best of luck on the campaign trail. So that's it, folks. The SA election is happening right now, or at least the campaigning is happening. You can start to vote online March 19th. The in-person polls open March 22nd, and then the ballots can be cast until March 27th. So get out there, folks, and choose your next SA government. Thank you.